Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. Hello everyone, if this is your first time here then welcome, if it's not your first time here then welcome back. So today's video I'm going to be doing a master study of a painting that you might be familiar with, but we're doing something a little bit different, as you might have seen in the title of this video. I'm going to be creating a replica of a masterpiece but in miniature version. Just how small am I going to go? Well, let's switch cameras and find out.
So here we are, and you may remember in my cheap art supply haul I found these Daler Rowney 5x5cm canvases at Poundland, which is like the dollar store in the UK. So I also found these online, just slightly bigger. These are 5x7, and I bought a pack of 10 for £5, so £4.99. So that's 50p per canvas, which is a ridiculous price. So you can see they're about 2 inch by 2 inch or 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. And just to show you these ones, same 5 centimeters, but they are 7 centimeters there. There we are in inches. So pretty small canvases. So let's just move some out the side. I'm going to be using one of these 5x7 canvases today, and we are going to be doing this. So the Starry Night by Van Gogh or Van Gogh. So we need to try and paint this painting on a small canvas, which I've worked out I think is roughly 1/15 scale to the original. So I'm going to prime this canvas first, just to make it nice and smooth so that the texture doesn't come through too much. So here we are, nice and primed. I've just added a little bit of yellow ochre to the gesso, just to give it a bit of a tanned undercoat. So this picture, which I'm going to put onto this canvas, is actually from MoMA, the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art. And I'm using this proportional divider. So I need to kind of set myself up first. So I'm going to measure the kind of height of this canvas. And then using the wide end, the bigger end, I'm going to scale my picture on the iPad so that it's roughly the same size. So now, whatever I measure on the large one, I'll be able to use the small end to get an accurate measurement on the small one. So here's the first thing to point out. If I measure the width of this, you can see that actually it's not quite as wide as the canvas that I've got. So what I'm going to do is take a pencil and take some washi tape, so a whole bunch of cheap washi tape, and let's see, nice neutralish colour, there we go, like a taupe. And take my pencil, I'm going to use this pencil for sketching in a moment, and we're just going to mark off the edges of the canvas, it's even on both sides, so I can mask it off with some washi tape. Okay, and there we are. We are the same width and height, relatively speaking. So now I'm going to use my proportional measuring device, and they're like a pair of calipers. I'm going to kind of mark out different sections and just put little points as reference so that I can go in and freehand with the pencil later and get all the details in. So this is what I mean by points. From the edge of the canvas to the bottom edge of that cypress tree is that distance. I'm just going to put a little mark there, and then the bottom of the cypress tree, so from one point to the next, is there. And by using those marks both horizontally and vertically means that I can come up with this little sketch on the canvas. This is in blue coloured pencil because the majority of the painting is in blue or different blue hues, so this is not really going to show through, and coloured pencil won't smudge with the acrylic paint either, which is what graphite can do. So here are my tiny paint brushes. This is my smallest, and you can see that even by comparison to the canvas it's still quite large, so this is going to be a struggle. So first things first, I'm just going in and kind of blocking out all of the base colours. You can see I'm keeping it light on one side, dark on the other, because obviously we've got that big moon there, so the canvas is much lighter on that side. So by looking at the original painting, the reference on the MoMA website, they actually have a 3D scan of the original piece, so you can zoom right in, see every brushstroke, every ridge and valley that the impasto paint has made on the canvas. You can even see the canvas underneath, which was really surprising. And by taking such a close look, I found out some things that I never realised before. So, first thing is that yes, you can actually see some of the canvas through the painting. So the underpainting was quite loose. Second thing that I noticed is there is no black in the original painting at all. I know, shocker. So I've always, before when I've thought of the Starry Night, I've thought of that cypress tree as being this kind of black shape on the canvas, and some of the buildings having, you know, black outlines and the hills having black outlines. No, there's not any black anywhere. The cypress tree is actually different greens and browns, and the outlines on the mountains and the hills is all just a very, very dark blue. So yeah, I found that really surprising, and I suppose that really is the kind of benefit of doing these master studies, is you're learning from the masters, as the name suggests. You know, you're looking really in detail at what they did to create that painting and then replicating it, and by doing that you pick up little tips and tricks and little things to add to your own arsenal for future paintings. So once all of the kind of base layers had dried, I'm coming in with the smallest brush that I have and starting to laying some of those fine details. And I'm really going at this colour by colour, so I'm going to lay in some dark tones and some lighter tones, and I am varying it as I go, but this painting it's so detailed. I'm definitely not going to be able to get it all on this canvas, all those tiny details, but I'm going to give it my best approximation, and I'm just going to go back and forth and build up and layer up. Adding in some of those tiny details on the bushes. Then I'm coming in with a slightly lighter blue, but just a variation on the hue that's already in that swirl. And just adding some direction with those tiny strokes. So if you are new to this channel, then we just like to have fun with different arts and crafts here. Don't take anything too seriously, so we have sculptures, paintings, drawings, sketches, bit of everything. So if there's anything you'd like to see, or if you want to ask me any questions in the comments down below, then feel free to. I'm always happy to chat to people down below. I'm trying to upload regularly. So far I'm doing one video a week. If you don't want to miss out, then you know, when you click to subscribe, definitely click that notification bell as well. I generally upload on a Thursday, but sometimes it can be a Wednesday or Friday. So if you click that notification bell, you will never miss out on any of those videos, any of the uploads. So here we are, I'm darkening the cypress tree here, and just getting that distinctive shape to that top branch. And you can see as that brown dries, it gets darker, and I'll gradually go over that a few more times and darken it up. But it's time to get in the stars. So we have stars, we have the moon, we also have that bottom bright star is believed to be Venus, which was interesting. They had a little video about that on the MoMA website as well. And starting to get some of those yellow tones in now. And again, just gradually building up in little blotches. So every star kind of has a little different colour combination. Some of them are slightly green, some of them are slightly yellow, some of them are more white. So it was interesting to go through and try and match the colours to each of the stars and kind of get their little individual makeups. The kind of things that you don't really notice when you just kind of look at it in passing, but actually really studying it closely, you see all of these little tonal variations. So I've painted small things before. I painted small models and things, but I have never painted something this small, like an actual painting at this scale. This was just ridiculous. I thought it was going to take ages. I think in total it ended up taking about an hour and 40 minutes to do the whole painting, which is not horrendous. Definitely a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. I wonder how long it would take me to do this at actual scale. I guess it would probably take me hours and hours, if not days. Maybe I'll do that in the future. There you see, I'm just building up all of those kind of swirls and patterns as I go. Adding and adding and adding and really building up. So the little village down here, obviously you've got the church. So I think this is Saint Remy. I mean, feel free to correct me in the comments down below, but I think that's where this was painted. And that the whole village down below, it was so difficult to try and get any kind of detail at this scale. I mean, I can't even describe how difficult it was. I end up kind of going over this a few times just to try and get a semblance of the original. I do like what I ended up with, but I also think that if I had some finer paint brushes, I might have been able to get just a little bit more detail. So maybe in the future, as I kind of finish up with these last details, if I do more of these paintings, I might have a look at some smaller paintbrushes. I know that miniatures painters, people that do kind of Warhammer and all those kinds of things, use tiny paintbrushes, so maybe I'll look into those. If you've got any recommendations, definitely again drop those down below. I'm always keen to learn from you guys. We're just finishing up with a few last little details here. Yeah, the lights in the windows of the buildings down there. And again, just touching up those buildings, trying to get something a little closer to the painting, the actual painting. A bit of definition at the front. And these are our final little touches, just these few darker areas. Yeah, and once that's dry, it's time to remove our washi tape.
Okay, are you ready for the finished piece? Before I hold it up, this is a 50p piece, just for reference. And this is the painting. It's tiny. I mean, I love it. I'm really in love with it. And I think I might at some point make a little frame for it in polymer clay and stick it up somewhere. But yeah, look at that. That is so small. I just want to do more of these. I want to have like a whole mini art gallery of miniature master studies. But yeah, tell me what you think. What painting should I do next? What do you think of this one? Would you have done anything different? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll leave some close-up pictures of this at the end with links to another video that you might like. In the meantime, I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, goodbye.